Alrighty, what's poppin', everybody? Welcome in. This is BabyNation.com. Welcome back to another video. And today we're going to be predicting, I'm going to be predicting to see how I actually think the playoffs are going to go. I know I kind of predicted the script the last video. In today's video, we're going to be predicting how I actually think the playoffs are going to work, how it's going to shape out, all that stuff. So like I said, if you guys haven't already, make sure to hit the like, subscribe button. Join me on Twitch, Discord, links in the description. Follow me on those. Follow me on all social media platforms. And make sure you guys as well go check out our recent video, our script video. We will have our weekly pick show tomorrow. Analytics predictions will also be out tomorrow, so make sure you guys go check out those. And like I previously said, we're going to be predicting the NFL playoffs. So I actually think it's going to go, but I do want to say this in advance. Whoever I pick here, and whoever I pick in the wild card, especially because the pick show is going to be in the wild card, this does not mean this is who I'm picking in the pick show. Just to let you guys know about that. When we do the pick show tomorrow, I'm going to pick all these games. It does not mean that this is who I'm going to pick in tomorrow's pick show. It does not mean that. So just going to give you guys a little bit more information about that before we do get started here. But like I said, appreciate your support. Make sure to like, subscribe button. And without further ado, let's go ahead and let's get into my official playoff predictions for the 2025-26 season. Alright, ladies and gents, so kicking things off here, we have a pretty interesting one here. We got my Rams going into the Carolina Panthers to begin on Saturday in the playoffs, and I'm pretty sure this game will be at 4:30, if I'm not mistaken, the first game on Saturday. Hey, listen, as a team, I will say this. Why in the hell does my team have to play first in the playoffs? I absolutely hate when that happens, because if my Rams lose, that's just kind of like the mood I'll be in the entire way for the rest of the playoffs. Yeah, sure, I'm going to watch the rest of the playoffs, but as a team, like, if we lose in the first round, it would just be like, holy shit, man. Like why does this even have to happen? Why do we have to do this? But anyway, here, like I said, I do think this one should be a close game. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say that you could say this could be a close game. Carolina, give Carolina credit. I mean, they won a division, probably the most trash division in football, but they won the division, and then they're in the playoffs, or they're a 4th seed. You gotta give them a lot of credit, and this is kind of new to the Panthers, because the Panthers have not been here a while. Now the Rams are getting more healthier. They are getting Quentin Lake back. They're getting all these guys back. So the Rams are actually going to be in a unfamiliar position where they almost get all their players back at a good time here. You know, Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford, I think them two will do enough. I know the Rams did lose to the Panthers last week, but they didn't really have all their offensive weapons, all their guys that they normally go towards. This time they're going to have it. I know it's in Carolina. Carolina plays their best game in Carolina, but I will take the Rams to win this one. I'll take the Rams to win this game. We'll go, I'm not going to predict my final score just yet, because that's for part of the analytics predictions video that we have every single week. That's also going to be coming out tomorrow, but I'll take the Rams to advance here. I just think they're the better team. They have the better coaching. Yes, like I said, I know the Rams, we did lose to the Panthers last week, but I don't think that has to do anything with this. I think the Rams are more disciplined, and I just think the Rams overall should be able to win this one. I would be surprised if they lost this game. Give me Los Angeles to advance here to the divisional round. Now moving on here to our wild card round here of the second matchup here on Saturday Night Football. We have the Green Bay Packers going into Chicago Bears. This one is literally a coin flip. I'll be honest, it's a coin flip, because I can see this one going either way. I can see the Packers winning this game because they have been here in the playoffs more, and this is kind of new to the Bears. Yeah, I know the Bears are the better team, they're at home, but you gotta think about it, like the Packers, they could win this game just because I just think they're more disciplined than the Bears, because the Bears have actually looked at this entire season, they've been winning based off comeback victories. It just feel like every single time they win because they're just coming back and just winning football games in this scenario. So like I said, this does not mean, like I said in the beginning, this does not mean who I'm going to pick in tomorrow's pick show, but to be completely honest with you, I just think that the Bears are going to win this one just because they are at home. I think the Bears are going to advance to the divisional round here. I think they'll take them out, but the only thing I really worry about the Bears here is their defense. Will their defense be able to stop Green Bay? I don't know if Green Bay is going to be fully healthy going into this matchup either. Excuse me, but with this game being in Chicago, I'm going to lean more towards the Bears that get the upper hand on Green Bay. I wouldn't be surprised if this game is close or if it's like a neck to neck situation or anything like that. But I do think the Bears go into this game. I think they take care of business. It's not going to be easy, but I just think they go ahead and go in this game, take care of business, and they'll move on to the divisional round at home. Now moving on here to our next game here, which is probably one of the tougher ones to pick this week. We got the Bills playing against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Listen, how I see this playing out, I do think this game is going to be a show. It's going to be a show. I believe you that. It's a 6 versus 3 seed matchup. To be completely honest with you, I think the Jags have actually been playing like the better team right now in Buffalo, because Jacksonville, it just feels like they're more consistent all around the board. Their offense in the last couple weeks has been absolutely phenomenal. They've been throwing up points like it's nothing, and their defense overall is not that bad either, but at the same time has been a little bit more consistent than Buffalo's. The only like thing I have worried here about the Bills, I worry about them, one, of course, being on the road. They have not really had that same playoff success on the road than they have at home. And with this game being in Jacksonville, I can see the Bills kind of like getting off to a slow start, or Jacksonville taking over a little bit to start the game. But in this game, I do think the Bills are in that situation. Like, it's just now or never. It's just if they do have to. It just feels like the Bills have to win this game. If they don't win this game, then it just feels like they're in trouble here. It just feels like they don't do something here, or at least get to the Super Bowl this time around. So I do think this one will be a close game here. It could go either way. It's in Jacksonville, but how I see it playing out is I'm going to predict that the Bills barely squeak this one out. Like I said, this does not mean who I'm going to pick in tomorrow's pick show, but for now, I'm going to lean towards the Bills to win it here, just because of their playoff experience, and I don't trust anybody more in this situation than Josh Allen to win it. So for my bracket predictions, I will take Buffalo to advance here to the divisional round. Really wanted to pick Jacksonville here, but I just couldn't do it. I'll take the Bills. Now moving on here to our third wildcard weekend to open up. Well, no, not to open up Sunday, because the Bills and Jaguars will open up Sunday. But anyway, here we got the Eagles going into not the Eagles. The Eagles will be hosting the San Francisco 49ers. Like I said, I think this one is actually one of the other ones, and one of the more tougher ones to pick, and probably one of the more funner games that I think you're going to watch this week. And I was really going back and forth with this game. I don't know where to really go. You can go Philadelphia because it's at home. It's going to be tricky for San Francisco, just kind of in the situation that they were just in last week to win it, and you really got to think about it, like them being on the road, got to go to Philadelphia. At that point, number one, that's going to be tricky. Number two, it just feels like the Eagles. It just feels like the Niners, they probably should have won that last meeting against Seattle. Now they're not. They're going to put it in that situation. Now it's going to be something curious to see how San Francisco, if they can get healthy for this game, or if they can get healthy as much as possible. I do not know about the injury status, but at the same time, I think they do have kind of a slight advantage here. I know they're going to be on the road here, but it could be a slight advantage because they're playing against a team that in the Eagles has just not been great offensively. So I do think they catch a break there. I do think the Niners are the better defensive team here. Defensive team, the Eagles are a defensive team. I do not like what I'm seeing on San Francisco, but if San Francisco can get some guys healthy, I do think their defense should be able to outlast the Eagles to win this game. And I know me picking against the defending champs here will actually be crazy, but to be completely honest with you, I think that the chance of going down the first round. I'm gonna take San Francisco to win this game. Just have not been pleased with what I've been watching out of Philadelphia this year. I think San Francisco, over the course of the year, I think they've been playing like the better team here. And I know it's in Philadelphia, it could be a little tricky, but I'm actually gonna go with San Francisco to take out the defending champs in the first round. Like I said, it would be absolutely freaky if that happens here, or if I pick that tomorrow for our pick show. But I'm going to take San Francisco here to advance here to the divisional round. It will be a close one though. But I'll take the 49ers to beat the champs. Now moving on here to our third game here, the fourth game here of the wild card game, where we have the Chargers on Sunday night. Will be going on the road to play against the 2-seeded Patriots. This one, to me, I mean, it could go either way. Actually, number one, I think the people are disrespecting the Chargers a little bit. To be completely honest with me, I do think the Chargers have more of a shot than you guys are expecting here, and I don't know why. I've been going on social media to say that the Chargers, they just have no chances to win this game. I just have absolutely no idea why they're going with that, but it is what it is. Anyway, here I'm gonna say that the Chargers do actually have a chance to win this game, because the Chargers do have the more experienced team than the Patriots. The Chargers have been here before. They've been to the playoffs just this last year, and I do think the Chargers might have a good chance of winning this game. I do. I'll give them a lot of confidence. I love what I'm seeing of Justin Herbert in the offense. offense this year, and the Chargers do have a really good defense. I will give you that. The Chargers defense is underrated. They can get after the quarterback. Love the way how they can play in the secondary. We've seen moments this year, especially that Philadelphia game where they just dominated Jalen Hurts and just ended up winning that game. And I'm impressed with the Chargers all season long. But the thing is, they're going to be going into Foxborough. They're going to be playing against a well-disciplined team in the Patriots. The Patriots are really good stopping the run, so that is a big part of the Chargers offense. They like to run the ball. Patriots do a really good job stopping the run. So in this game here, I'm going to take the Patriots to win this game in Foxborough to get the win here in advance here to the divisional round. But yeah, I just think that the Patriots, I just think they're probably the better team in this matchup here, especially with this game being in Foxborough. I gotta go with the Patriots to win this one. We'll take them to win this one in a squeaker here. I'm expecting a close game here. I think the Chargers will fight, but I'm not gonna pick them to win. I'll take New England. And now moving on to our final game here of the wild card round, we have the Texans going into Pittsburgh to play against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Could this will be a good game here? I'm actually kind of expecting a good game here. You have the Steelers at home. Steelers actually at home is a different breed. They play differently at home. The team's actually been playing really good at home. The only problem for them is that they're going to be on the road playing against this really good Texans. I mean, they're going to be at home, but at the same time, which is going to help them, of course. But they're going to be playing against this very good Houston Texans defense, and this defense is nasty. I mean, they're good at pretty much everything. Look at this Texans defense. It just looks like they have no weaknesses to anything. That Texans defense is nasty. They can get after you. I just think that's going to be a rough experience for Pittsburgh here. I do expect this one to be a close game, however, because it's in Pittsburgh. I can see it happening, but at the same time, I just think that offense is going to get exposed by that Texans defense, and I do think Houston's going to be able to walk away with a win here. It's kind of fortunate that the Steelers made the playoffs. I mean, they kind of made the playoffs off of a missed kick, but I'm going to go with the Texans. They advanced in the divisional round. I think they're the better team outright, and I think the Texans should be able to walk away with a win here. I'll take Houston. Now it's time to move on to the divisional round. So beginning here with the first matchup here, we got the 6-seeded Bills going into the top-seeded Denver Broncos. I think this one could go either way, man. This is actually a tough one to pick, and this is according to me because this is actually who I have at this point, man. I think this is going to be a tricky matchup here. You got Denver, who's been probably one of the better teams, if not the best team in the AFC so far this year. I mean, they've been one of the more consistent. Well, I'm not gonna say consistent. They've been one of the more how do you put it? They've been one of the more balanced teams in the NFL. They just know how to win every single time. In the crunch time game, they know how to get it done. Like this team's consistent at that. They know how to get the job done when it's needed. If you look at the Bills, like I said, they have not been the most consistent team this year. The team's been inconsistent. Their defense has been inconsistent. Their offense has been inconsistent. But one thing that you can say about the Bills is the Bills, they need to step up this year. This is their year to step up, and I think this is the matchup opportunity for them. And it's not going to be easy. You're going into Mile High. You're going into Denver in the altitude. That could be a big thing here. And Denver's defense is really good. So how does that compare with the Bills' offense? How does that give them a challenge in this one? You also got to look at it. The Broncos have a pretty good run game, and the Bills. And how do you beat the Bills? You run the football because the Bills suck against the run. So you might think of all of that and be like, hey, okay, you might lean towards Denver. I think the matchup does favor Denver if you want to talk about that in that way. But I'm going to go with the Bills here. I trust Josh Allen more in this situation. Sure, this is kind of new to Denver because Denver is not really known to be in this position, but the Bills have been here many times, and just like I said before, it just feels like if they don't win the Super Bowl or at least get to the Super Bowl this year, it just feels like it's never going to happen again because, all the teams that are teams that normally get them in the playoffs are out this year. So I think this is a massive opportunity here for the Bills to take advantage. I think they win this game if they do match up in this game. I'm going to trust Josh Allen to make that extra play. The Broncos have actually been relying a lot more on just winning with their execution in crunch time. That's just basically what they've been. They haven't really blown any teams out necessarily this year. So I like the Bills to take advantage of here. Could be tough, could be challenging, but I'm going to lean toward Buffalo in this one. Now, next up on the board here, we got the Houston Texans, which is the 5 seed, going into the 2-seeded Patriots for a divisional round. I think this is another one for me that can go either way here. I'm not gonna really be surprised by the outcome. Actually, if I'm being honest, I don't want these two teams to match up in the playoffs because it's very good to be. It's going to be interesting how these two teams match up with each other. Obviously, we haven't seen a matchup this year, which is honestly it's kind of disappointing at this point that we haven't seen these two play this year. But it would be very entertaining to me if we saw these two met up in the playoffs. It would be pretty interesting to see what comes out of it. And this is a tough game to pick here. I mean, it can go either way, honestly, because the Houston Texans, I love the way how their defense, like I keep talking about that defense, and that defense is probably one of the best, if not the best, in the league right now. So I look at that and I'm like, okay, I might want to go Houston because their defense is so good. They can stop everything. They can stop the pass. They can stop the run. Their defense just bullies people. That's just what kind of defense they are. And then the Patriots, they're one of the more fundamental teams in the NFL. Like they're so well organized. Their defense, specifically against the run, has been really good. Now the pass, they can allow some big plays every now and then. We see that at times this year. Their offense is great. Their defense is consistent. With this game being played in the cold in Foxborough, that could do it for me. This is a tough one to pick here, but I think I'm gonna lean towards the Texans just because I just think they have more experience, and I just think that defense is the real deal. It's really hard picking against this Texans team, the way how they're rolling right now, the way how that defense is playing. And we've seen the Patriots at times. We've seen them struggle a little bit on and I know Drake May, I mean I know he's an MVP candidate. He could definitely win MVP this year. But I just like the way how the Texans are stood up here. Even on the road, going into Foxborough could be a little interesting in the cold. Could that be a factor? But I'm going to go with the Texans. Something I think they pull it out. So I'm going to take Houston as one. They advanced the AFC Championship game to face Buffalo. But it's going to be pretty interesting here. This game is going to be a lot of fun. Now moving on here to the divisional round, according to me here, we have San Francisco going into Seattle to play the top seeded Seahawks. I said Seattle's going to be coming off of a well-rested bye week in this week. They're going to be healthy. I mean, they're going to be ready. They're going to go. They're at home. They're the top seed for a reason. I mean, I think Seattle's been one of the best teams in football this year, and I just think there's no regarding it here. You took a look at these two teams matched up just a week ago in Week 18, and I do think San Francisco, if they do match up again, I do think San Francisco will have a better performance than what they had in Week 18. This is a hard one to pick here because something's telling me like San Francisco, like if they get some guys back, if Fred Warner possibly gets back and maybe Troy Williams comes back in the Niners playoff experience, I think because I do think they have more experience in this Seattle team, then maybe because I think the Seahawks are one of the more, I mean, they're one of the more dominant teams in the league, but they haven't really proved anything just yet. You know what I mean? They haven't really proved anything. Sam Darnold hasn't really proved anything yet. So something in my gut's just telling me that San Francisco, if they do match them again, San Francisco might have a better game plan for them this time. The way how they can attack on both sides of the ball here, but at the same time, like Seattle, with this game being played in Seattle, just the way how they won in Week 18 on the road is really impressed me. Like I said, I think also Seattle's defense is going to be a problem for the Niners offense. And Seattle's defense, I think we seen it last time. This team's defense it's unbelievable. It's one of the better defensive teams I think I've seen in a long time. This is a tough one for me to pick here, but if I'm being honest, I think I'm going to lean towards Seattle here. I think they're going to take on the advanced NFC Championship game. They just looked like the better team in Week 18. And the game is in Seattle this time, and they could win at home. I'm not going to count on them to win in Seattle. So I have Seattle advancing to the NFC Championship game, beating the Niners here. It should be a pretty close game if these two play. Seattle has an advantage while San Francisco is coming back from the East Coast. So I like Seattle in this game. It's going to be close, but I'll take Seattle. And moving on here to the divisional round, the last divisional round, according to me, will be the 5-seeded Rams going into the 2-seeded Bears. This is another game like I said, there's a lot of good games in the postseason. I just looking at the postseason slate, I don't think there's any like freebie wins. I know they're kind of normally are in the postseason, but listen, I just think that when it's a game like this, man, I think it's a lot tough. You look at the Bears, man. I give the Bears a whole shitload of credit this year. I did not think they were going to make it this far. I did not think they were going to do as good, but like I said, you gotta give credit to them. I mean, they've been playing really well. The Bears, they have probably one of the more better offensive teams in football, but at the same time, I think the Rams also have one of the better offensive teams in football. Both of these two teams are very capable of moving the rock. This game is going to be played in Chicago, so could that affect the LA boys here? Could that affect them? The weather possibility, because they're used to playing at home and indoors. So could the weather there and possibly in Chicago in February, in like January/February, could really affect the Rams here? I think the Rams have been through in this situation before. I think they've been playing in the cold, so I do think they'll be fine in this game here. But here's the thing: this game comes down to you already know what Matthew Stafford's going to do. Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams. You already know what they're going to do. You're going to know what Caleb Williams, DJ Moore, Cole Kmet. You know what those guys are going to do down there in the offensive end. So I'm not really too worried about either one of these two teams' offenses. For me, I think it comes down to who I think the better defensive team is. And the Bears' defense does not really look that good right now. It does not look that great. And you look at the Rams defense has been a little bit off too, but this team has been at least a little bit better on defense. So I think this one will be, the deciding factor for me is which defense I can trust more. So I'm going to take LA on this one. Putting this game in Soldier Field, advancing to the NFC Championship game, I'm going to trust their defense a little bit more. I do think both offenses should be able to pop off, but I like the Rams defense just a little bit more to get the job done here and get the win here. It's not going to be easy, but I'll take the Rams to win this game. They'll advance in the NFC Championship game. And now moving on to our conference championship games, we'll go ahead and start here with the NFC here. We got the Rams playing against the Seattle Seahawks, according to me, in the NFC Championship game. If we do get this matchup, which I hope we do, I think it's going to be a great one. I talked about it earlier this year. I talked about it throughout the year. I think over the course of the season, these two teams have been the best two teams in football. And last time we see these two teams on Thursday night, and I think we've seen exactly that. Yes, I do think the Rams outplayed Seattle for the majority of the game, but Seattle came back and won. I just think these two teams I think the last game that these two teams had against each other, they gave us a treat. Like, I think both of these two teams looked fantastic over the course of the year. I'm really impressed with Seattle. I'm really impressed about how they were able to get the job done there. But this game, man, this game could go either way here. And for the Super Bowl, with this game being played in Seattle, that probably will give the Seahawks a little bit of advantage here. And the Rams have to go on the road once again. It should be 3 straight road games here for the Rams, which could be it could be tricky here. It's not going to be easy winning in the playoffs. It's definitely on the road. It's not going to be easy here. But at the same time, like, something's telling me like if there's one team, I know it's talk about Seattle's defense all the time, but Seattle's defense, I've been talking about, it's great. It's one of the best in the league. But if there's anybody that can stop Seattle's defense or just what offense I can trust to get down the field, it's Sean McVay. It's the Los Angeles Rams. It's Matthew Stafford, who I think is going to win MVP this year. It's just a lot of combinations now. And when you look at the matchup here, I think Seattle is a hell of a team. I think they have a hell of an offense. JSN could pop off again against us. I love the way how Seattle's defense is. I've been talked about this. Seattle has one of the best defenses in the NFL. But at the same time, like the Rams, man, if you guys look at that game, I mean, the Rams outplayed Seattle for like majority of that game in Seattle and lost. And coming off the emotional loss, I think actually do think that's a good thing for the Rams, because if you have this matchup in the NFC Championship game, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take the Rams. I'm going to take the Rams here. I think they'll advance to the Super Bowl here. I'm going to trust their playoff experience a little bit more. Yes, Sam Darnold's been great this year, but I think Matthew Stafford's been better as a team as a whole. I think the Rams are better. I think really the difference maker for me here is Seattle does make mistakes every now and then. The Rams don't really make mistakes. I mean, they do. Don't get me wrong, they do. Because we see them in the course of the year. We see them against Carolina. They make mistakes, but they don't really make a lot of mistakes. So I'm gonna take the Rams to win this one. I think they advance to the Super Bowl, and I have full faith in this team. I love this team as a fan. I love this team. I think we'll make it to the Super Bowl. Give me the Rams to represent the NFC. And now moving on to what I think will be the AFC Championship game here. We got Buffalo going into Houston. Listen, it would be absolutely phenomenal if we can get this AFC Championship game. You have one of the more better experienced teams in the NFL playing against one of the more dominant forces on defense in the NFL. This is another tough one to pick here. I know I keep saying that, but this is just the reality of it is. I think both of these two teams well deserving to be in the AFC Championship game. Now for Buffalo, they have to get past Jacksonville. I do think that's going to be their toughest challenge. If they don't get away from Jacksonville, this one could definitely screw up my bracket here. Because like I said, I think Jacksonville could beat Buffalo. I think they have a great chance of beating Buffalo. Like I said, I don't know if I'm going to pick that in their pick show or not, but anyway, this is my AFC Championship according to me. Buffalo at Houston. I think both of these two teams have been probably one of the hottest two teams in football. Definitely, Houston has definitely been one of the hottest teams in football. I mean, they're right there with Jacksonville for the best team in football. But I think for the hottest team in football going to the playoffs. But look at this game. I think this will go away. This is a rematch of the matchup in the regular season. Houston's defense absolutely kicked the Bills' ass in that game, and I can see being this scenario. I mean, the game will be back in Houston if this would have if this would have happened here. And like I said, Houston, I mean, like I said, their defense, I keep talking about it over and over again, but Houston's defense is just, it's phenomenal. It gives teams problems. I know Bills in the playoffs, and normally they're used to losing AFC Championship games. So they have done that. I think 3 out of the last 5 years they have lost in the AFC Championship, and majority of the time it's been on the road. This time they have to go on the road again. They're going to be playing against the Houston Texans. Well, according to me, I don't know if it's actually going to happen, but there's a good chance the Bills do lose in the first round to Jacksonville. But me saying that, I just think this one could go either way. I like Josh Allen a lot. Like I said, he's the number 1 quarterback that I trust in this year's playoffs. Well, number 2 maybe behind Matthew Stafford, but he's he's one of the top guys I trust in the quarterback position to play in this league in the playoffs. So, and I keep talking about the time, like, this is the Bills' chance. This is their chance to get to the Super Bowl. But in Houston, battle against that defense. We already seen the Bills' offense struggle against good defenses. That's exactly what the Texans are. The game will be played in Houston. I think I'm going to go with the Texans. I think they find a way to win it, and I think they're going to go to the Super Bowl. I'm a very big fan of this defense, very big fan of this offense, and this offense is really starting to click now. So Houston's, to me, is just starting to become one of these more complete teams in the NFL. Just love how complete they are. I mean, offensively they're cooking, defensively they're cooking, special teams they have good coaching. I just think that the Texans at home with that defense in with the game being in Houston, I just love the advantage for them. So I'm going to take Houston advantage to the Super Bowl. It's a little bit risky because you're playing against the Bills, playing against Josh Allen. Could go either way. Josh Allen might be able to keep him in the game, but I like Houston here. I think Houston advances to the Super Bowl. I love the way how they're playing. And last but not least, we have our Super Bowl. According to me, it will be the Rams. Well, Rams versus the Texans. I'm not going to say at the Texans, but technically I could say at the Texans because the AFC team will be the home team of the Super Bowl this year. So that would be Houston. They're going to be taking on the Los Angeles Rams and Santa Clara and San Francisco here. According to me, like I said, these will be my 2 favorites here to win the Super Bowl. Well, not favorites, but this is my prediction out of these 2. I think these 2 teams will advance to the Super Bowl. I think both of these teams have definitely elevated their game over the course of the last couple of weeks, and I think they're well deserving to be in the Super Bowl. But we got my Rams, we got the Houston Texans. Listen, I love both of these 2 teams. I love how both teams are playing here. Like I said, Houston, they're really improving on the offensive side of the ball. Also, this is actually a rematch of the regular season. These 2 teams matched up in LA, and I think the Rams won in a lower scoring game here. So if we do get the Super Bowl, I will be pleased, and I do think that's what we're gonna get here. Rams versus Texans. I think this is another tough one to pick here. Something's telling me, like, pick the Houston Texans to win this game because they have the defense to slow down Matthew Stafford. They have the defense to stop that offense. Like the Houston's defense, they're physical. They want to beat everybody up. I just think that when you look at the Texans team, I mean, they're definitely improving on offense. I love the way how their offense has been playing. Their special teams have been playing pretty well, decent, and that's been their main story with the Rams, and that's kind of been where their main weakness is at. Their special teams have been pretty bad this year overall. Been one of the more things that you want to take a look at this Rams roster and say, okay, that's probably their main weakness here is their special teams. But usually their special teams have been looking pretty better ever since their firing. Their special teams have been looking a little bit better. Now you look at it like, okay, listen, the Rams special teams is fixed. Maybe they might go a little bit of a run or something. And I do think they'll go on a run. I think they'll be here in the Super Bowl. Like I said, I think the Rams offense, just kind of like what I said about Seattle. If there's one offense I think that can give it to or good defenses, it's the Rams. The Rams have actually been playing really well against good defenses as of late. So that gives me the confidence to pick the Rams. But at the same time, I could pick the Texans because maybe their defense does ball out, and maybe their offense does get rolling here, especially against the Rams defense, who I think it's good, but it's been declining over the last couple of weeks. Could that be a defining factor here in Santa Clara? For who I'm gonna win the Super Bowl, I'm going to pick the Rams. I'm going to pick my boys to win the Super Bowl here. Listen, as a fan, I will say this. I have not felt this good as a fan since who knows how long. I think last year I didn't feel the best because I knew we were missing a couple pieces. I knew we weren't really just yet. I think I picked us to lose to Philadelphia in the wild card. But listen, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling my boys this year. I think we're going to win the Super Bowl. I feel good about it. Over the course of the year, I always felt like this team was the best team in football this year, and I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great about my Rams' chances. So I do think they'll win Super Bowl 60 here. It's gonna be a close game. It's gonna be wrong. It's gonna be a close game. It's gonna be hard fighting. No matter who we play in the Super Bowl, then the Bills, the Jags, it's gonna be hard fighting here. But I like my Rams' chances, and I do think we will win the Super Bowl this year. So that's my pick. Going with LA to get it done, win Super Bowl 60. All right, everybody. That's going to do it for me. Make sure you guys let me know your playoff predictions below. Make sure you guys hit the like, subscribe button, turn on notifications for you to subscribe. No the description for you. So I appreciate everybody's support. I will hop off with this up so you guys get it, so you guys can watch it on time. Also, I have to do a short video of this, and I have to go live because I'm kind of late on my live. But without further ado, guys, I appreciate your support. This is BearNation.com. Peace out. Stay safe. See you guys next time. Peace out.